Hey guys, Mr. DJ here. I'm here to show you grade schoolers and even your older pre-K kiddos how you can practice your gymnastics safely at home. Even if you don't have all these crazy mats that we have at the little gym, you can practice these things at home as well. What you'll need is one, you, of course, and two, one of these things. It's called a wall. You might have some of these at home if you look around hard enough. We're gonna be practicing one of my favorite skills, handstands, using this crazy wall behind us, okay? Now, before we go into those crazy handstands, we wanna make sure that we're in a safe spot so that we can keep ourselves safe, make sure that we're not gonna hurt anybody else, of course, and make sure we don't knock anything down, because I don't think our parents like that very much. Speaking of parents, not a bad idea to grab a mom or dad to help you out, just in case you need a spot, and make sure you're nice and safe as well. Not a bad idea to even put some pillows down next to you just in case you fall down, because hey, it happens. I fall all the time. Now, before we go into our handstands, we want to make sure that our bodies are nice and stretched and warmed up. So sit down in your straddle and reach down to one side to grab those toes, and then the other side to grab those toes. And you can also sit down in your pike with your feet together and legs straight and reach for those toes as long as you can. Maybe even make a game out of it with your parents to see who can stretch the furthest. One of the best ways that you can stretch for those handstands really is make sure our hands and our arms and our wrists are ready. So one thing we like to do in class is we like to make spaghetti. So first we're gonna put our hands together and make some meatballs, okay? So roll them around and around, make sure those meatballs are ready to go. After that, we're gonna make some spaghetti noodles, okay? So you're gonna make them go up and down, keeping those fingers together, up and down. If you think you can do it, maybe try going the other way. And if that's too easy, see how fast you can go. So after we do our meatballs and noodles, we're gonna make the sauce. So you're gonna spread the sauce all over the spaghetti. And if you want to, you can even try catching an arm, holding it across your body, and then try the other side, hold it across your body. After that, my favorite part of the spaghetti, we're gonna shake out some cheese, okay? So shake out the cheese and the bananas and the hot dogs, whatever else you wanna put in your spaghetti, okay? Now, once your body is stretched, it's not a bad idea to maybe even do some jumping jacks to make sure your body's all warmed up and ready to rock and roll. And when you feel ready, we're gonna start very slow, okay? So we're gonna start by putting our hands down and walking our feet up behind us and seeing if we can hold that for about 5 seconds, okay? So do it with me. We'll put our hands down on the ground, okay? Then we're gonna put our feet behind us and walk them up. Here we go, up and up. And up until they're as high as they can, and we'll put our feet together and we'll count to 5. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom! You did it! Now, when you're doing those handstands, make sure your arms are nice and straight, okay? So you don't land on top of your head or your nose. So keep those arms pushing as much as you can, and then try to bring those feet together. And if you think you can do it, for another challenge, you can try walking your hands backwards to put your nose against the wall, okay? But be careful. So you can put your hands down again, walk your feet up the wall, walk those hands backwards, and maybe put your nose against the wall, and maybe point those toes up too, so that way you're keeping your arms by your ears. And then, of course, carefully walk those hands and feet back down. So that's a fun way to get started with those handstands. Once you feel ready to rock and roll, you want to move past those hand walks. We can practice it from a lunge. Now, a lunge is when you put one foot in front of the other foot with your arms tight by your ears, okay? Now, we want to begin and finish in a nice, strong lunge, okay? So when you land on your feet in your handstand, you should be back in that lunge at the end, okay? So, start in front of the wall, get in your nice, strong lunge. Don't forget those arms tight by your ears. Now we're gonna see if we can try to put those hands right in front of that wall and kick up so that the wall here is kind of supporting our back to make sure we're nice and straight and strong, and we're not falling over as well, okay? So be careful, because here we go. Arms up by your ears. As our hands go down, our back leg goes up, our feet come together, and notice I'm kind of touching the wall right now, but if you want to, you can try to push away from the wall and hold it without using that wall, of course, as well. But keep those feet together. You can try to point those toes, and of course, keep those arms right there by your ears. Woo! And then when you come down 1 foot at a time so that you're back where you started in a nice, strong lunge. So those are some different things you guys can try at home to practice your handstands. Just to remind you guys, when you're doing those handstands at home, we want to make sure we keep our body strong and straight. We want to make sure that we begin and end every handstand in a nice strong lunge. See if you can try to keep your arms by your ears the whole time, okay? If you need to look at your fingers when you're upside down in that handstand, that's okay. After a while, see if you can tuck the head in so that your arms are by your ears when you're upside down in that handstand position. See if you can try to point your toes and keep your feet together when you're upside down in that handstand, but the most important rule of all when you're doing these handstands at home is, of course, guys, please try your best to be cheesy. Andrew, it's not cheesy. Be safe, you guys, okay? We don't want any of you guys getting hurt trying these handstands at home, okay? So, thanks for following along with me. Try those handstands at home. You can do as many as you think you can, but hey, take breaks every now and again, shake those arms out, and try your best, okay? Just remember, at the little gym, you don't have to be the best as long as you try your best, okay? Hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for following along, y'all.